השמיים מולי, ענן הוא לבן, והבוקר בהיר, ובלילה ישן, ואחלום לעצמי, איזה אחלה עולם. Colors of rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are all the faces passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. So much more than I'll never know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. כל צבעי הקשת יפים וחדשים, מופיעים אחרי הגשם על פני האנשים, והיום כל יפה וקל לי כל כך לומר שאני אוהב אותך. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, איזה אחלה עולם. תודה רבה.
לא שומעים. הלו? אוקיי. Thanks to נוער מנגן תרבויות, or youth playing cultures, with Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. They are all part of a community project the university's flagship program runs together with the Leo Beck Education Center. We will hear a little bit more about them later. Immediate past chairman of the executive, retired Admiral Ami Ayalon. Current chairman of the executive, Mooly Eden. Professor Tauber, Professor Robin, Professor Mesh, faculty, honored guests, good evening. My name is Michael Messinger, and I'm the Executive Director of International Resource Development. It is meaningful to speak to you in these surroundings. You will recognize the Neri Bloomfield School of Design we saw today, just there, this building, a future part of our multiversity. Just behind me and on your left, you will recognize the Templar building, some of the oldest houses in Haifa. And behind you, next to the sea, is our port campus, where some of our activities are based. If you look up, past the Baha'i Gardens, there are the magnificent Carmel Mountain. On top, our Eshkol Tower, a beacon to the whole northern region. I'm not a tour guide. I want to show you just how much our university is rooted in Haifa and the north of Israel. It goes further than that. There is, and has to be, a synergy between the university and the wider community, what Professor Robin called GLOCAL this morning. The International MA program in Child Development, headed by Professor Avi Sagi-Schwartz, is a great example. Yeah, go ahead. I would like to welcome its students tonight who come from around the world. Will you all stand up, please? You are sitting without a seat. Okay, big applause. Thank you. You can sit down. The aim of this program is to prepare a new generation of experts to go back home and help improve lives for children and their families in developing countries. This is what we call Tikkun Olam. We are grateful to the Open Society Foundation and many other generous friends here and abroad for their support in this important program. My friends, I encourage you to talk to the students if you have not already done so. Some of you took this initiative, and I see some of the students sitting with you, but others are here, and later you can talk to them. I guarantee you will be fascinated by the projects and their personal stories. The role of chairman of the executive committee is perhaps another way our university is rooted in Israeli society. And the two individuals we are honoring tonight are shining examples of Israel. The chairmen come from the highest echelons of Israeli life. Their experience from industry, science, security, politics, and more is one of the most valuable assets we have. Chairman of the board, Professor Tauber, is of course in the same mold. Fred, it is my pleasure to invite you to say a few words.
Thank you. Can you hear me in the back? Okay, thank you. As you might imagine, I have been thinking a lot about what I might say this evening. I'm going to begin with Ami, and I want to tell the group the story of how Ami and I met, which is relevant to the evening's event. 2 weeks before the Board of Governors was meeting in 2013, yes, I get a call from Ami saying he'd like to talk with me. I had actually met him 6 months earlier in October of 2012, and he asked me for names of people who might serve as chairman of the board, because Leon Charney was ending his term. Do you want me to swallow that? No. And so I gave him a bunch of names, and 6 months later, he calls me. And he said, we're looking for a chairman of the board. And I said, well, I gave you a bunch of names a long time ago. He said, everyone refused. I said, you must be desperate. He just smiled. I will say categorically that the relationship that I developed with Ami Ayalon during the period that we worked together is the most meaningful and important experience I have had at the University of Haifa. Ami and I share values, the same values. I like to think that I have the same sense of friendship that he has. We're sort of similar in being small bundles of energy. And most importantly, when we make a commitment, the commitment is steadfast and consistent. Ami's tenure as the chairman of the executive committee was marked by a persistent and strong voice for a vision of the university, which I fully endorsed. It's a vision of the university of Israel at its best. A university that is inclusive, that is excellent, and most importantly, is a place where people can actually talk with each other. I had an incident early in my tenure where someone started yelling at me. Of course, it was completely unwarranted. And I said to this individual, I will not speak to you if you yell. If you want to talk to me, I'm happy to, but I will not tolerate your intolerance. Ami spoke with a strong voice, but he always listened. And he had a vision for this university which he promoted tirelessly. And I think that that vision will be felt, enacted, and will continue to exert its influence for years to come. As Ron steers the university into a new multiverse identification, it is guided by this framework of a pluralistic, open place of discourse. So Ami retired, and Mooly took the realm. Now I have to tell you, they're almost indistinguishable in terms of their energies, their intelligence, their drive, their commitment, their focus. Mooly comes in a different flavor. You know, some people like chocolate, other people like vanilla, others like strawberry. Mooly is his own flavor. He's not Ami. But he brings precisely the same energy and intelligence to lead the executive committee, which is really the place where policy and oversight is vested. And I am extremely pleased and confident that he will continue with the extraordinary insight, perseverance, and vision that marks the growth of this great university. And so I salute each of them. And do we have any wine in our glasses anymore? A toast. The only toast we know, l'chaim. Toda.
Thank you very much, Professor Tauber. President Ron Robin, it is my honor to invite you to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Okay. Okay, this will be the right height for you as well, Mooly. No. Mooly suggests he's the tallest midget. We'll see. What an exciting few days we've had right now. We've managed to cover quite a bit of ground. We've celebrated, we've deliberated, and we've honored those we have thought are deserving. And now it's time to honor two exceptional and extraordinary people. And I'm not going to spend too much time here in front of you. I'm sure we're all looking forward to hearing both Ami and Mooly. I'll just say the following. To Ami, I will say that, as you know, Ami, you were present today. We have presented a very elaborate strategic plan. And as you full know, this would not have happened without you. From day one, not from day one, from -10, Ami was relentless about getting a strategic plan and presenting me with milestones, when to present it. And none of this would have happened at the pace that it happened without you, and for that I'm eternally grateful. I'm eternally grateful also for a long time before that, you suggesting that I throw my hat into the ring. And I'm really, really happy to be here, and it has a lot to do with you. As for you, Mooly, I remember the day that Shuli Yashbol and I came to see you, and we described the university. We described its accomplishments, but we also were very frank in its blemishes. And Mooly's response was something like, "What do you think, I'm crazy?" And our response was, "Don't worry, Mooly, if you're not crazy, we'll train you on the job." And I cannot think of a better partner to work with. We have so much in common, but we're also so different. And we bring different strengths, and we cover for each other's weaknesses. And much of what's going to happen in the near future is due to this fantastic partnership that is already very much part of our lives. I thank all of you here for coming to honor these two wonderful individuals. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and we look forward to hearing from you, both of you. So thank you very much.
Just a moment, I need to adjust the microphone. There is a slight difference. Okay, it's okay. So thank you, Ron, for your words, and I think that we can all identify with what you said. And now for some more music from Noar Menagen Tarbuyot. The young people in the ensemble are part of a community project which partners with the Leo Beck Education Center. It is part of the university's flagship program headed by Professor Ronnie Striar, sitting there somewhere, to show solidarity with and involve excluded communities in Israel. The young people reflect the diverse population of Haifa, and they meet once a week to make music. At the center of the project are core values of multiculturalism, community engagement, academic and social excellence. You will see that each member brings their own culture to the music, but what they create is something much richer, sharing from all their backgrounds. They will be singing two songs, Kol Yom, every day, and Chayzarim, aliens. The words were written by two of the boys, but the music is written jointly. In between the songs, we will hear from one of the writers about the ideas behind the songs. So please, the floor is yours.
כל יום אבל היום זה שונה לא מבקש הרבה אני ואת רק קצת מזל שהאור ייכנס חושב יותר מדי על מה שאת חושבת עליי לא נראה לי לא מכירה משום מקום לא נראה לי זה יזרום אני לא מכיר הטוב לא נראה זה משהו אני גבר אמיתי כאן מה שאתה בריתי אתה לא מכיר אותי אתה לא רק אותך כל יום אבל היום זה שונה לא מבקש הרבה אני ואת רק קצת מזל שהאור ייכנס כן עוד חפש בשביל שהיד לפני אני רוצה כל כך הרבה וטוב כדי גם בעד אני עושה כל כך בעיה וטוב כדי גם בעד מבלבלת לא מובנת אז תגיד לי מיד לא מוכן לוותר כל יום בני מזל אבל אני לא מוותר רק אותך כל יום אבל היום זה שונה לא מבקש הרבה אני ואת רק קצת מזל שהאור ייכנס כל יום אני גם חסר מזל אבל איתך זה שונה לא מבקש הרבה רק קצת מזל אני ואת עד שנגמר כל יום אני גם חסר מזל אבל איתך זה שונה לא מבקש הרבה רק קצת מזל אני ואת עד שנגמר והשיר שעכשיו ניגענו, נקרא כל יום. הוא שיר שיחה בין נער, כמו ששמעתם, הוא כזה שיחה כזה. הוא שיר שיחה בין נער צעיר לבין נערה שלא מעוניינת בנער, לעומת הנער המאמין שהבחורה המושלמת. אז הוא מבקש הזדמנות למימוש האהבה ביניהם. אני כתבתי את זה שכאילו זה סיפור שקשור לחיים האמיתיים שלי, אז כאילו הבאתי את זה ללהקה.
This is a song about a young guy and a young girl or youngster, and he's interested in her and she's interested in him, and he thinks she's perfect. And it's more or less about his experience.
והשיר שעכשיו אנחנו הולכים לנגן הוא החייזרים, כמו שהוא אמר לפני זה, about aliens. שיר שאני כתבתי. יאללה, בוא נעשה את זה.
אוקיי, עכשיו אני אתרגם. This song called Aliens is inspired by the question and doubts about the existence of alien life and related issues. So here we go.
אם תסתכל למעלה, מה אתה רואה? ומביטים בך. החייזרים הם קיימים או לא, זה עניין של אמונה או שלא, אני כבר לא יודע מי הטוב ומי הרע, אבל עזוב, מה אומרים הכוכבים, מה הם אומרים? ברגיל אנחנו לא, אבל היום אנחנו כן. בצעדים קטנים, הקראנו לירח, זה מה שהם אומרים, או שהכל שקרים. אני שואל ואין תשובה, הזמן עובר, שלום לך חבר, מכוכב אחר, אי שם, ברגיל אנחנו לא, אבל היום אנחנו כן. אז דבי כל הכבוד מגיע, תחזרו אחריו. למספרי הסיפורים, שואלי השאלות, למספרי הסיפורים, למי? לחייזרים, הם קיימים או לא, זה עניין של אמונה או שלא, אני כבר לא יודע מי הטוב ומי הרע, אבל עזוב, מה אומרים הכוכבים, מה הם אומרים?
Thank you very much to נוער מנגן תרבויות. Our musicians were איציק לזימי, גיטר. Christian Shakur, drums. Nir Lugovsky, bass and keyboards. Roy Ben Ephraim, guitar. Now I hope I'll say it correctly. Brano Asaye, vocals and lyrics. And Zemene Wasie, vocals and lyrics. And the ensemble is accompanied by two of our students. I hope they are here. Ayalon Adan and Sirin Abulel, if you can stand up. They're there. And the project is coordinated by Amir Avraham. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite retired Admiral Ami Ayalon to the stage, ex-cabinet minister, ex-naval and Shin Bet commander, and current chairman of Akim, the nonprofit for children with disabilities. Your 6 years, Ami, as chairman were marked by energy, drive, and commitment. Ami, it is my honor to welcome you to speak.
It's the same problem, right? Okay. Okay, Mooly, we are in a competition here, right? So in the end of the evening, we shall decide who won. Anyhow, everything started several months ago when ST commanded me not to refuse to participate in this celebration. So I said, okay, if refusal is non-option, so I will come. And I have to be very honest, if you wanted to please me, you succeeded. And if you wanted to surprise me, you succeeded. So thank you very much for everybody, all of you who came here, not especially for me, but thank you anyhow. I want to start with Fred Tauber. Well, the story is not exactly the way Fred told you, but differences are irrelevant. All what I can say is that I couldn't dream of a better friend and a better person as a chairperson of the Board of Governors during my term. And thank you, Fred, for the patience and the energy and the advice that I needed more than once. Since I met here many of my best friends, so I don't know who came with the idea to invite them, but it reminded me the idea that somebody has to save me from my friends, from my enemies. I shall save myself, because every time when I'm not doing it, somebody surprised me. It's not that I hate surprises, but this is one of the cases. So when a person or a man knows that he has to finish his term, several conditions. Usually, at least in my case, I know it only in retrospect. The first condition, he has to know that the one who will replace him will be much better than himself. In this case, again, I couldn't dream of a better person to replace me, knowing for sure that he is and he will be better than I was. So Mooly, thank you for coming. It was not very easy to convince you, and you will have some hard time, I promise you. But as far as I know you, you will be stubborn enough, you know, at least in my case, when I realized that too many people want me to leave, I decided, okay, I'm not going to leave. And this is why I finished 2 terms. Second condition is when he understands that he is becoming the obstacle for the organization in order to achieve the same goals for which he struggling every day. So finally today, I know that I finished my term exactly when I should. I was listening today to the vision of the university in Ron's lexicon, multiversity. It is not a strategy. I'm not sure that we know how to get there. This is the strategy. All what we have now, as I understand, it's a vision. We know where we want to be in, not 5, by the way, Ron, in 40 years from now. I was listening to Gustavo, to Ron, President Rector, and not less to the remarks and conclusion of Professor Tauber. Later, I was listening to the discussion and the debate. I enjoyed much more from the questions than from the answers. Frankly speaking, I don't think that any of us or any of you have all the answers. It's the beginning of a great adventure. But this is the reason why I love it so much. It is a very risky and ambitious vision. The way I understand it, it shakes all what we do, and it shakes all the methods, the way we do it. Second, probably even more important, it is not one-man show. For the last 12 months, Ron and Gustavo led a teamwork. So it is a building or a vision that was created by many people from the university. And this is why I believe that with all the risks, the probability that in 40 years from now, not me, but somebody will see how it was realized are very high. And let me finish by saying that in the end of the day, I am a sailor. Sailors, from my own experience, Berale, don't take it personally, are not very clever. There is a great advantage. Our wisdom is very simple. Everybody can understand it. We used to say that the art of leadership starts with navigating. Navigation is the whole concept. We used to say, to quote Seneca, by saying, a captain who does not know where he wants to go or to sail, there is no wind on earth that will bring him there. But it is not the end. A captain who knows can use every wind and every storm in order to get there. He is the one who can see every wind and every storm as an opportunity and not as a crisis. So finally, I wish all of you good luck, all the best in your long, great, and challenging adventure. Fair winds and calm sea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ami, and listening to your words, I am sure you will not be a stranger to this university in the future. Mooly Eden became chair of the executive committee earlier this year. After years as vice president of Intel and one of the world's leading high-tech executives, Mooly decided to change direction and support the area he is passionate about, education. His intelligence, his wit and insight have impressed many at the university. Mooly, it is my pleasure to invite you to speak.
Everybody's laughing at our height. I'm not short, I'm exactly the right height, I'm my height. Yes, you know, when I was asked to join, I looked and I saw Ron and I saw Ami and I say, what's in common to the three of us? And obviously came the idea of the size. And then I saw probably they asked us to join is all because they think that small people are harmless. And definitely Ami is an example, this is not a good assumption. Others assume that all the good things are coming in small packages. That's something I'll buy into. So I'll tell you the truth. First of all, I'm not prepared because Ron gave me another booby trap like the one he gave me when I joined. He told me, Mooly, you don't need to speak more than 30 seconds. So I didn't prepare anything, but That's fine. That never prevented me from talking. So first of all, I would like to thank Fred, Ron, and Ami for the kind words. I believe that's as good as it can get. From here on, I don't know where it will go. And the other comment to Ami is to work on his English grammar, because he said, Mooly, you will have hard time. Will have is future tense. I'm already 5 months in the university, so I already bumped into some difficulties, but it's okay. I know this is the job. The reason I would like to take revenge at Ami, because when he was trying to persuade me to come, he told me, Mooly, it's a very simple job. It's less than half a day in a week, etc., etc. I'd say, yeah, half a day in a week sounds like a ball. And I joined, and I spent much more than half a day in a week, but still, I believe it's worth it. So yes, I'm a high-tech person, and when the people from the university came and talked to me, I say, what do I have to do with this university? It seems pretty strange, but after they told me the problems, and I have to admit, they've been very frank, they didn't try to sugarcoat it, and by the way, I believe this is the reason that eventually I agreed, because if it was not challenging, there was no problem. I don't see why I need to join it. I agreed to join, and to tell you the truth, even the first 5 months, maybe people didn't see, it's not very simple. When you try to approach these academic people that are sure that they are the smartest people in the world, some of them are, by the way, and who the hell are you from the outside world that come to join us? There was some suspicion in the beginning. I would like to believe that after 5 months, not only that some of the suspicion disappeared, I believe that I start having friends, some good friends, and really I'll admit it, as a person that came from the high-tech world, I believe some friend that I'll be able to learn from and complement the things that I missed in the last 40 years when I was dealing mainly with microprocessor, which is, by the way, much simpler than dealing with people. So I will not try to take it too long. I believe you got enough of it in the last couple of days. I look forward to work with the partners. One of the reasons I joined as well is after I spent lots of time, a couple of hours with both Ron and Gustavo. I'm sure that we will not agree. I think it's good that we will not agree, because if we'll agree, it means that we think the same. And if we think the same, some of us are redundant. I believe the good comes from argument, out of respect, not out of fights. So I really believe that I'll be able to work. I really sense with Ron and Gustavo sense of a change. I really felt with some of the academic partners that they say, yes, let's change. And that's the reason I believe it's going to be very interesting. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be challenging. For our guests, the Board of Governors, I hope in the last 2 days I had the chance to speak with a few of you. I had a breakfast with one of you, and I hope I'll come to know much better several of you. I heard your opinion. Some of you already offered that I'll come over to their places. I believe Ron, and I'll speak for Ron and myself, we are committed to try to do our best. You've seen the set of problems and challenges that we have in the university. We will need your help. We are committed to do whatever is required to go over abroad, get more people to support us. Money is not a bad word. We'll need financial assistance. And as I told some of the people that I have the chance to speak with, no, we are not looking for commitment. No, we are not looking for envelopes in the table. I've seen it in the US. I hated it. No, I'm not expecting anything. I expect you to get the best people around the table. Let us have the time to tell our story. And if the story is interesting enough, inspirational enough, and comprehensive enough, we would like them to join our road, go there with us together and help us fulfill our needs. And I believe that actually we've got a very interesting thing. I don't believe we need to start it. We need to continue what was done and take it to the new level. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you not next year, but much earlier. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Mooly Eden, Ami Ayalon, and everyone who has made this evening so special. I have the pleasure now to invite Noah Roquet Carmel, Youth Dancers Carmel, the dance company representing the Haifa Municipal Sports Authority. It is directed by Zahava Tavero and Barry Avidan. And they will be dancing Machrozet Hora medley. בבקשה.
Kiss
ובעצרות ובשלום תובלו למען לא נבוא שלא נבוא ניקרא ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד למען לא נבוא ולא ניכרא ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד סימן טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב
סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב
סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב יהיה לנו ולכל ישראל יהיה לנו ולכל ישראל דוד מלך ישראל חי וקיים דוד מלך ישראל חי וקיים קצב מרקדין לפני הכלה קצב מרקדין לפני הכלה קללו וקללו בחסודה קללו וקללו בחסודה
יעסיס עלייך אלוקייך יבסס קטן הכלה
יעסיס עלייך אלוקייך